Erling, you've been over here in the Premier League now for a couple of months. Just tell us how you're finding it and what you think of the league.
Yeah, I like it. I've been watching it my whole life, so I, I've always been liking the Premier League, and yeah, I'm settling good in, and the tempo is nice, and the vibe is nice, and yeah, I like England.
What's the difference that you've found so far, the main differences in terms of playing style and how you're having to play between the German League and the Premier League?
It's a bit more muscle, you can say. I think
More aggressive?
Nah, a bit more. I feel it a bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe after games or in duels and so on. But yeah, it's a bit more. It's a bit more physical. It's a bit more tempo. So yeah, I think those two things there.
Do you prefer one league over the other in terms of the style so far? Would you say that you sort of prefer this league, or would you prefer, in terms of how it suits your game?
I think every league has its own kind of thing. German has this Premier League has this, and Spain. So it's difficult to say this, but I like German Bundesliga a lot, and I like Premier League a lot.
Out of the teams that you've played against so far in the Premier League, is there one defence, one team that you thought, oh, they were really hard to play against, one that you found tough? Doesn't look like it, but
No, I think every game is different, different and difficult, because they try to destroy how we can play football, so to say one team is difficult. I don't want to say any team, it can come bad at me later, so I don't want to say any team, but every game is difficult, I can say.
when you're playing in the team that you're playing in, you always have like 70%, 75% of the ball, and sometimes you stand up there for long periods and don't touch it. Do you like that? Do you get a little bit bored? Do you think, like, what's going on? I wish they'd get it into me quicker.
Yeah, it can be. It can be, if you can say, a bit lonely, if you can say, sometimes up there, But I enjoy to be alone. I've been for the last years. I've been playing and living alone, so I'm used to being alone. So then I just think like this. I try to enjoy my own company, and to be ready, because when you least expect it, a chance comes.
Is that a mentality thing, that you have that patience to be able to wait in games knowing that moment's going to come?
Yeah, I think patience in football is one of the biggest and most important things, and especially for me as a striker, to be patient, to wait, to don't overthink, to don't stress too much, because I don't think it's a good thing, and to wait, because I know I will get a chance soon. I have to think like this, and when I think like this, I always stay sharp.
Everybody who's ever spoken about working with Pep Guardiola says that he's very strict around positions, and Thierry Henry says sometimes that in training he would say, you must play here, you must play in this. Is he doing that work with you, or is he being a little bit more free and saying, do what you ordinarily do? Or is he actually very strict with you about what areas of the pitch you play in?
Yeah, but of course, I'm a striker, so I want to be in the box as much as possible. Of course, I don't want to go out on the side. What should I do there? We have other players doing that. So this is a logic thing. But we talk about a lot of small different details. Against this team, maybe do this. Against the other team, do that. So it's a lot of details. It's a really detailed man that loves details.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. Devil is in the details, you can say this, and he loves this, and yeah, it's good to work with him. I like it.
What was the one thing so far working with him that you thought, wow, I'd never thought of football like that, or I've never thought of a part of my game like that?
I normally have this thought quite often, because he tells, for example, day before game, he tells us what's gonna happen, and then next day exactly that happens. So it's crazy. Sometimes I don't understand how it's possible, but he's what can you say when you're crazy into football? Footballholic, if you can call it that. It's crazy.
And what part of your game has he worked on most with you, do you think, in the first few months? What part has he concentrated on with you?
I think to be connecting to the team when I have to, to play with the team when I have to, and to join in when I have to, and of course when I have to, it's when we gonna try and score a goal, or when we need to hold the ball. And I feel I'm developing every single day, on different kind of things when it comes to playing football, this and that, and movements, and off the ball. I feel I'm developing every day, and in the end, that's the most important thing for a young man, to feel that you're getting better every single day. I think that's a really important thing, and this is something I like.
You have brilliant players obviously around you, and everyone, I think from day one, thought about that partnership, that connection that might exist between you and Kevin De Bruyne. Just tell us a little bit about your relationship off the pitch, but on the pitch as well.
Yeah, he's a really calm, good guy. We relax a lot. We joke a lot together. You know how it is in the locker room. With all the guys, it's really nice, and we have a really calm relationship. Joking a lot about the same things, and on the pitch, it's yeah. It's when you watch a football game and you can kind of see yourself in the game. This is what I've been having, for the last, before I came here and so on. This was the kind of thing I was thinking. All the balls that he just shoot in, and no one were there. It's a dream for a striker, and you've been watching at a couple of goals this season, how it is, and this is something you don't need to speak about, because this is something and he knows I will be there, and I know that he will shoot the ball in there in front of the keeper and behind the defense, the most difficult pass to defend against, so this is something you just know.
Talk to us a little bit about two players that are English players who you've played. One plays for Manchester United, one plays for Manchester City, Phil Foden and Jadon Sancho. You've got now good experience of both. Just tell us a little bit about your relationship with Jadon Sancho at Borussia Dortmund, how you work together, what you thought of him, his time at Manchester United, but also how you're enjoying playing with Phil Foden and how that connection's going.
Yeah, me and Jadon, we were really good together. I have to be honest and say that we were good friends in Dortmund, and we played really well together. He gave me a lot of assists in Dortmund, and we shared some nice moments together. So yeah, he's a good guy, and I have a lot of good memories from playing with him. And Phil as well. They were both here together, so they know each other well. Phil is also also really good. When he's on the ball, he's so quick and sharp. And the good part is he's still young. This is a good thing. We still cannot forget this, that he can still develop for the next many years. This is also nice. But yeah, what can I say? I look forward playing with him more in the next coming years.
How good can this Manchester City team be?
Yeah, I think Manchester City are already a really good team, and it's about getting out the last kind of things from each other. I think to become even better on this, that, and everything. Mentality to perform against the best teams in Europe. And to really have this kind of winning mentality, to print it in the club, to print it in every staff member, everyone. I think this is the last part we need.
Just on you personally, do you feel pressure? Do you ever get anxious before a game, nervous? Or are you always confident? I'm asking the question because this morning I was made aware there's World Mental Health Day in 2 weeks. And I think that you look unbreakable. You look like you're so confident, so resilient, tough going onto the pitch. Do you feel any pressure before a game?
Yeah,
you do?
I'm often nervous, yeah.
You don't look it.
I'm not, but you're normally nervous maybe before the game, but when you come into it, for me, my whole life, I've been kind of using football as a kind of getaway, when I had maybe a bad day at school, or if my father were mad at me, I went to the pitch and then I forgot everything, a bit like this. And this is something I still have, but yeah, I'm nervous, as I think everybody else in this world. We don't have to hide that. I'm nervous, I'm sometimes anxious or whatever, but I think that's a part of life, and I think it's about still being focused while you're nervous, to try to still do the right things even when you're a bit uncomfortable.
Manchester City have won the Premier League multiple times in the last few years, and there's this thing that Pep Guardiola must win the Champions League, and you're the final piece of the jigsaw. Does that make sense to you, or does that bring a pressure to you in any way?
I think the pressure will always be there, no matter what, on footballers. No matter where you play, you know, in Dortmund as well, there's a lot of pressure, 80,000 at every home game, you know. So footballers, we have pressure on every day. We have kind of exam every single weekend. And that's just how that's how my life will be for the next 10, 15 years, you know. But missing puzzle, you know, I cannot say too much about this. But my dream is Champions League, to win it.
And in terms of yourself, talk to us a little bit about your heading, because you said your heading didn't used to be very good, but it's improved a lot. How have you worked on it? How have you developed that part of your game?
Yeah, it was when I was in my hometown club Bruyne. I couldn't have the ball. You know, I was not scared of the ball, but you know, when you're really new to something, it was like, how should I do it? You know, and then I came to Molde with Ole. You know, and he just first thing he said almost was like, "You cannot head. You know, we have to start doing this." You know, and so almost every single day I got crosses from him and Mark Dempsey. Crossing the ball in, I was heading. You know, Mark Dempsey was throwing the ball from just easy. I was standing on 5 meters and he was standing in the goal. Just tried to head it straight. You know, just like this. So much, you know, and then, you know, nothing is better when you practice on something and then you see the results. You know, you can see, oh, it's getting a bit easier, or I finally scored a goal on the head. You know, and then that's also kind of a motivation, you know. Oh, I even want to become better. And it's about, I think with training, some people speak about, yeah, you have to train the most to become the best. I don't think it's about training the most. I think it's about training the right things. You know, if I do something if I train in something that's meaningless for me and I become good in that, but I can never prove it or show it in a game, I don't think it's a thing I need, you know. Then training is not so important, but to train on the right things as much as your body and you can handle, I think that's one of the keys. And it's about balancing becoming better and recover to the game and to be sharp for the game.
Your goal record so far is absolutely unbelievable. There was once a player called Dixie Dean. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
He scored 60 goals in 39 games.
That's a good record.
In the English League. Is that a realistic target?
That's a good record. That's all I'm going to say. That's a proper record.
You fancy beating that record?
Nah, come on. You cannot ask me this.
Too many goals. Look, you're physically, so it looks to me when we're watching, you know, we're all mesmerised by, when we watch you, the physical advantage that you have. It looks like you're playing in an under-5s game. I don't know any other way to describe it. Is that how it feels to you sometimes, that you feel you can just throw people to the ground, get them out of the way? Do you feel like a massive physical advantage? A little bit you must.
Yeah, I think when let's take, for example, the running. If I time my runs perfectly, I know that no one will stop me. You know, if I can time Kevin De Bruyne passed me the ball perfectly, I know no one will stop me because the timing is perfect and I have the speed as well, you know, together. But it's sometimes I feel a little bit. I can say I feel good with my physicality. I can say this. I like my pace. I think I can still improve a lot on different things with my physicality, I have to say, and it's going to become even better.
The best attacking player that I played with at United was Cristiano Ronaldo, and he became one of the best players in the world. He used to target certain areas. He would play wherever he felt the weak point was in the defence. Do you see that before a game, or do you just go wherever you feel as though you should?
No, I try to focus most on
what you're doing.
Yeah. I try to focus most on myself. Of course, if there's something, then analysis or one coach will tell me this.
Yeah.
But mostly, I focus mostly on myself. You know, for example, this what we spoke about, Kevin's pass in front of the keeper. No one can defend if it's perfect. If the run is perfect and if he's standing and putting it perfectly in, no one can defend it, no matter who you are. So that's mostly how I think.
Manchester United are coming up. They've been strong defensively in this last few weeks. They've improved a lot, but they have two very different sides to the defence. They have one side of the defence is quite small, but really combative and aggressive, and they have another side of the defence which is a little bit taller. You won't change your game on Sunday to suit what would be the sort of the smaller side of the defence. You'll just play as you normally play, or would you target an area of Manchester United's defence that you feel you can exploit? I'm particularly thinking about Martinez and Milicia.
No, I haven't thought too much about this. I thought about it now when you say it. I think if we play our game proper, I think it doesn't matter who stands in the defense or which team it is. But it's against Manchester United. It's a derby. You have to be focused because this means a lot, and this is, as you know, it means a lot for people. So you have to be ready for this game.
So you mentioned Ole before. He was the manager at Manchester United. He was your manager at Molde. How are you not playing for Manchester United? How has that not happened? How has this been allowed?
You have to ask him. You have to ask him for this. You have to ask him. No, it's funny, and also with my father playing for Leeds and Nottingham and City as well. It's a strange world. I go to Ole up in Molde, having him as a coach who played for Manchester United, and then I go to City where my father played. It's a strange and funny world.
And about the derby, obviously you know all about it. Does it feel different this week? The build-up, has it started to sort of make you feel a little bit different inside?
Yeah. I landed in England last night, and the first thing I was thinking of was Sunday, and you can feel it a little bit more here and there, and it's going to be nice to have my first derby.
Have you got a message to City fans? Has your dad spoken to you about the game? Yeah.
No, I haven't spoken a lot with my dad. He will watch it from the stands, and.
Do you need a lot of tickets on Sunday? I bet you need a lot of tickets on Sunday, don't you?
Yeah, it's gonna be a couple, but it's gonna be a nice game. Looking forward to it.
And a message to City fans ahead of the game?
I don't think I need to say too much. All I have to say is that I'm ready.